I really like to hide, not, not hide, but just, I move forward from my past. And, when you see me on social media today, you have an image of me. I wasn't that individual then. So I went to his, then grandmother's house, and, his kids stayed there, and it was his daughter, and his son was there when I got there. And, so I went into the house. I was looking for him. He wasn't in there. So I went outside and I called him, and, I said a lot of crazy things, a lot of things that eventually implicated myself. And you got to remember, this situation changed my life. This is a very serious issue. The decision that I made, which was a very bad decision, which was I called, and I made a lot of threats to his children. I said some nasty things. Yes, it was sexual things that I said. I said some things that I was going to do, kill his son, and, said a lot of crazy stuff. So he would call the police. And when I was outside, the police would pull up. And so I would be arrested. I gave my statement at the precinct, and eventually had to deal with it going forward in the trial. So this is me telling my side of the story. Now, according to what was said by the statement that they have on the record, his daughter says that what actually happened was I came into the house. She was doing the dishes. She said that I grabbed her buttocks, and I was grinding on her. This is what she said. She said that she ran out the house. She said that I ran after her. She turned around, and she went back in the house, and she locked the door. She said that I tried to open the door, according to the police report. And this is all what this is right here. This is the report this is her statement that she made. This is the statement that was actually made here. So, so she said she came back in the house, and then she locked the door. She said that she would then call the police, and eventually they would find me on the steps, and I would be arrested. So those were the two sides of the story. This would actually go to trial. In the preliminary hearing, they begin to. So I want to say this. This is where all the charges come from. So the charges of indecent assault, the indecent assault charge would be me allegedly grinding on her, as what she said in the statement. And, the grabbing of the buttocks would be the corruption of the minor. And so the false imprisonment would be, well, I really don't know what exactly the implications, because she said she ran out the house. So those would be the charges. In the preliminary hearing, she was questioned by the judge. And as she began to state her case, as what was stated in this document, the judge began to ask her questions about the statements that she made. I think that the story began to fall apart when the judge asked her, well, if he grabbed your buttocks, if he grinded on you and you were running out the house, how did you get back in the house? So she said that she turned around and went back in the house. So the judge said, well, did you go past him? Did you turn around and go past him? She said, yes, I turned around and went past him. Then she asked him, the judge asked her, well, were you afraid of him? And at first she said, yeah. And then he was like, well, why would you turn around and walk towards him if you were afraid of him? And then, it would turn into a back and forth. It was interrogating, and it was like, putting pressure on her. And then she said in a statement, well, really, he was coming after my father. She said something along those lines. And so after both people made their statement in the court, all those charges was dropped, except for the simple assault. In this document, from the grabbing of the buttocks and the allegedly grinding, it was never the things that was being suggested by Nepal, or Rob and Simetta. They said that I pulled my penis out in front of a minor. They said that I pulled my penis out in front of a minor. They said I was exposing myself in front of minors. She didn't even say that. She didn't even say that. Even according to the document, she didn't even say that. So all that stuff was made up. And like I said, this case got thrown out. Most of the charges, all the charges involving the minor was thrown out. After both people made these statements, and then people look at the withdrawal, say, well, withdrawal, just because you withdraw doesn't mean that you was, not guilty, just because the cases was withdrawn doesn't mean that you were found not guilty. There's two ways that can happen. One is lack of evidence. That could go either way. It could be lack of evidence because you're found innocent. It could be lack of evidence because you hid the evidence. Or the person don't show up to court. These are the two ways that a thing could get withdrawn and a person still, actually did the crime and it still get withdrawn. The evidence was the actual individual. She actually made the statements as to what I did that day. She showed up to court. So she showed up to court and she was the evidence. So the withdrawn was because the story didn't make sense according to the judges and the prosecutors. So they felt as though that it would be the best thing to drop those charges. So that was that situation.
When was the first time you heard about the groping charges and stuff like that? Was it told to you that actual day?
Yeah, but it was told to me. I guess they was trying to actually not reveal to me her statement. So they was just asking me what happened. The police just asked me what happened, and they wanted to get my side of the story. I don't think that they wanted to reveal to me exactly what she was saying. So it really wasn't until when I got home that my sister, she was saying, "Well, did you grab her?" And I was like, "No, I didn't grab her." And then it was my mother and my brother. They actually said, like, "Yo, she's saying that she was like grinding on her and you grabbed her butt and shit." So I'm like, "Nah, I ain't do none of that shit." So it wasn't really until they actually told me, Mm-hmm. And then so yeah, that's how I really found out exactly what she was saying. That was through my side of the family.
Okay, and then I guess the elephant in the room, because this would actually be the whole gist of the case. From your side, were the threats made on the phone to the kids. That's the heavy part.
Yeah.
And I know you're not proud of it. And I could tell the way you're talking about it, you don't even really want to vocalize that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I see you trying to be transparent, but it to me, honestly, everybody got their own opinion, but it seems like you kind of embarrassed about that.
Oh, definitely. The whole situation now, looking back on it. I mean, really, that situation changed my life. Like, as far as the charges, employment, what I was trying to do, I was trying to go to college. A lot of stuff that I was trying to do that got thwarted, even though the charges was dropped, as what they're doing now. You can see that on the record. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a very thing, that is being rehashed now.
And there was no classes.
No, there was no classes on that charge. No, there was no classes.
That's crazy as fuck. and there was no sex offender registry. It wasn't. It never even.
Nah, there wasn't no sex offender registry. There was no classes. Yeah, so 2 years probation.
Now, my question is, how old was this girl?
At the time, she was 14.
14. So my question would be, why would a girl 14 make up a story of you, I guess, grabbing her buttocks or grinding on her?
I really don't know exactly the reason why, but according to the case, she said that she knew that I was coming to see her father. She knew that I was coming to see her father. And so according to the statements that was made, I can only say that I believe that she lied about it because of what I may do to her father.
Now, is it possible that maybe you made some kind of threats of doing maybe some illicit things to his children? And maybe
I did make those threats.
So now?
I did make those threats.
So you did make illicit threats?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it possible that maybe she's got that idea from, maybe she overheard the threats that you were making?
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible that she heard. Like I said, she may have locked the door because she heard what I was saying, or that he may have called her and told her to lock the door.
And then so when they get you down, they book you, they do all of this. Like Suave asked, like, at what time do you figure out that this is what's said about you?
Like I said, it wasn't really till I got back to my family and they began to ask me questions. My sister wasn't really that transparent. She was just saying, like, did you grab her or something? Like, did you grab her? And then it was my brother that was like, yeah, she trying to say you grabbed her butt, bro. He was grinding on it. My mom was saying the same thing. Did
the police ask you any sexual questions pertaining to that?
No. From what I can remember, the detective, he asked me just what was my side of the story. He just got a statement for me to state my side of the story. He didn't really reveal exactly what was going on in the totality or even her statements.
And so what's going on with you where you think it's okay to go in there and you was going to beat that man up and do all of that right in front of that little girl?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. But if there was, yeah. I mean, yeah.
And so at that time, you didn't care. You just wanted action.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how we know that you was thinking clear enough where you didn't do nothing to that little girl?
Well, I mean, that's for you to decide, Like I said, I read you her side of the story. I stated my side of the story. And this is the whole purpose of doing this stream.
So then we read, or what we heard was that you had sex offender classes. And you weren't able to see your niece and your nephew. That's how they posted it. What's up with that?
Well, no, in that case, that was 10 years later with the indecent exposure. That had nothing to do with this particular case here. This particular case here, when the charges got dropped, like I said, in the preliminary hearing, and I just had 2 years of probation. That was what the situation was.
So you had another incident. So you had the indecent exposure. So that's the one everybody said you run around showing your stuff to little kids, right?
Well, yeah, when you actually look at the case, it wasn't no kids involved in that situation.
What was involved with that situation?
That situation was me being in a public place. And to be frank, had, my penis out. Somebody was performing a sexual act on me. It was seen by an individual. They would call security. Security would come. I think it was almost simultaneously that, the individual was giving me fellatio. She kind of popped up at the same time. My dick is out. Security come here. And I don't know if he was saying it to both of us or just me. And I was just like, yeah, it's all me. Like, it's all me. She had more to lose than I did. And so I sat on that. But those were all adults in that situation.
So then why they wouldn't let you around kids?
Well, the stipulation was that it was a person had to be there when my niece and nephew there. I don't know exactly why they had that there, but yeah, that was the stipulation that if I was to visit my nieces and nephews, that had to be somebody there. That was just one of the stipulations for the sex crime, So yeah.
Yes, but this was with an adult, or it was with a minor?
No, that was with an adult. Yeah, that was with an adult.
Something ain't adding up, fam, because I'm told and I'm seeing the way they put this shit up that the assault case from 2005 is what ended up getting you in the situation with not being able to be around kids.
Nah. I think that it was the situation in itself. I'm not sure exactly if they do that to everybody. Or that maybe the 2005 when they looked at the jacket may have an impact. But that's just was one of the stipulations.
And so where was you at when you was getting your fellatio?
I was in library.
What, just out there on holiday?
Huh?
You was just out there all in the open? Like, what you mean?
Well, they have these kind of cubicles, and at the end is like a room. I was in one of the rooms, so it's like a cubicle, it's a lot of cubicles, and at the end, like the room is facing the cubicles. So the window to the room, you can see right into the room.
And so they gave you 2 years of probation on that. And so what they made you register? You was in the sex registry then, right?
You said sex registry?
You was in the sex offender registry then, right?
No, I never was a registered sex offender, never.
Nah, nigga. Like so the way niggas is painting this shit out to be, you the pedo, nigga.
Why didn't you tell nobody none of this shit? Why ain't this shit out in the open so niggas will know?
I was ashamed of that, it was embarrassing. Yeah, I agree that in terms of when everything began to hit the fan, I did make it my opportunity to relate it to a couple people when I kind of seen the writing on the wall. But in terms of, just being transparent right from the open, like soon as I went on YouTube, I was ashamed of those charges, like I said, those charges had an impact on my life, and those were serious charges. And I was trying to move forward from that. Even me going to the court, I had to literally relive that. Relive the whole situation, reading the documents, looking at the charges and the whole nine. So, yeah, that was irresponsible on my part in terms of, like you said, how, everybody is in a league that I'm, the head of or the commissioner of. And I think that is it should have been my responsibility to be transparent, especially when, this back and forth thing was going on. And then I didn't know because it was calls that was made to me by individuals such as Sinetta. He was calling other people that was in my circle saying that he had my jacket. So I should have said something then. I only told to certain people, certain people that was in the circle, I related to them. Actually before everything came out. But definitely it was more time that I should have done it when it was being suggested. I think that it was first suggested when I did the first interview over on Taharka Bay channel. So I should have, looking at a hindsight, I should have just went forward and brought those things out right then, you know. So, yeah, absolutely correct. You know, that was kind of an irresponsible move for me to remain silent